The recipe that proved the teacher wrong. The kitchen always smelled like rosemary and garlic, but that afternoon, it felt more like a crime scene. My daughter, Maya, sat at the table, staring at a worksheet from her Intro to Culinary Arts class. She looked defeated. "Mom," she said, pointing to a big red circle on her homework, "Mr. Henderson marked me down. He says you have to boil the sauce for 2 hours, or the acidity will ruin the dish. He called my answer lazy in front of the whole class. I've owned a high-end Italian bistro for 15 years. I don't just cook, I balance flavors for a living." I told her, "Maya, if you boil a fresh pomodoro for 2 hours, you're not making sauce, you're making jam. High heat for 20 minutes preserves the bright, sweet notes of the tomato." She looked terrified. "But he's the teacher. He said he's been using the same textbook since 1992. The next morning, I didn't send an email. I showed up for career week in my executive chef whites, carrying a heavy cast iron pot. Mr. Henderson looked me up and down, his eyes landing on my logo. "Ah, a local cook," he said, his voice flat. "I hope you aren't here to teach them shortcuts." I just smiled, the kind of smile that says, "Watch this." I set up 2 burners. On one, I had a sauce that had been simmering since breakfast, thick, dark, and slightly bitter. On the other, I whipped up my signature quick fire sauce. The aroma filled the room, bright and zesty. "All right, class, time for a blind taste test." The kids lined up. It wasn't even close. 24 out of 25 students picked the fresh sauce. Mr. Henderson took a bite, and his face went from smug to stark white. "The textbook says," he started to stammer. "The textbook," I interrupted, "is older than these kids, and it's teaching them to overprocess their food. Cooking is about chemistry, not just following a script." He didn't say a word. He just stood there, clutching his 1992 manual like a shield. Maya came home the next day with her graded test. He'd changed her mark to a B, still refusing to give her an A, and he wrote in the margins, "Student prefers modern methods." Now, whenever Maya sees a recipe that feels a little outdated, she just looks at me and winks. "Should we do it the Henderson way, Mom, or the right way?"